Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the Paradigm AI Smoke Woods and Irons from Callaway.
And hi again, everyone. I'm Jimmy Roberts, and this is your Golf Central update. Florida Swing gets underway this week at PGA National, the Cognizant Classic. Rory McIlroy, the world's #2 ranked player, is the highest ranked player in the field. And earlier today, he met the media.
I feel like my game's in pretty good shape, and you know, it's nice to stay at home this week and you know, feel a little more, I guess, relaxed in the surroundings. So looking forward to getting started.
We'll turn it to questions. Craig, we'll start with you.
Roy, there was a thought a few years back that perhaps the champion course was becoming too difficult for the players in terms of what they wanted to play this time of year with the rough and all the other things. Does it seem like they have taken steps to kind of soften the course a little bit the last few years? Yeah,
I mean, I can't speak to the last few years, but especially this year, it's a lot more benign of a setup. You know, the rough's been cut back. You know, there's been a couple of bunkers taken out in certain spots. You know, the greens are soft at the minute. You know, I'd like to think that they'll get a little bit firmer as the week goes on. But yeah, it's a, you know, maybe not quite the test that it was 10 years ago. It's still, you got to hit the shots, and all the hazards are still in the same places. But yeah, it's just, you know, the rough isn't quite as penal, and you know, it seems right now that you know, they're keeping the greens, you know, a little softer. I think it's just 6, that right bunker. So it gives you a little bit of a bail out on the right there into those sort of moguls over in the right rough.
Paul, PGA Tour.
Hey Rory, obviously long history at this event, but haven't played it the last couple of years. What compelled you to return this year?
So I think the date and the schedule was a big thing, having that week in between the West Coast swing and starting in Florida. So that was a big part of it. And I think as well, you know, the field has, or the tournament has struggled to attract a really strong field here the last number of years. And then with, you know, a new sponsor coming in Cognizant, I thought, you know, it would be a good time to step up and show some support for the tournament.
At this point in your career, how do you define a successful season?
I don't know. I guess it comes down to wins and season-long titles and major championships, I guess. I can't sit here and say that the last 10 seasons haven't been successful because I haven't won a major, but at the same time, I recognize that, you know, whenever all is said and done, I'm going to be judged on those tournaments a lot, hopefully amongst other things as well. But yeah, you know, winning is always good, and the more wins you can get, the better.
How about here to PGA Tour Entertainment?
Yeah, Chris Brees, PGA Tour. On the note of course difficulty, they gave you guys a break, quote, making 10 a par 5. Some guys laughed at it, saying it doesn't matter. Is it simply just you're one score better to par? What's your thought on the giving you a break?
It's a perception thing. Like, you know, whether someone shoots 11 under to win or 15 under to win, you're still having to get round in 269 shots over 4 days. So it's a complete perception thing. Par is irrelevant in my eyes.
Tom.
Rory, I'm wondering the last time you spoke to Chubby Chandler, and what do you think motivated him to say what he said, other than making headlines?
I think he's writing a book. So there is that. I spoke to Chubby. I might have saw him in the Middle East, actually, at the start of the year. So you never know. He might know a few things. Who knows?
Well, he started by saying there's a good chance you'd go to live, and then at the end it was 10%. So is there a percentage that he's...
Somewhere in the middle, maybe. Who knows?
Tom, can you give it to Alan Shipnuck, please?
Rory, does 2012 feel like another lifetime?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, different life for sure.
Do you ever reflect on where you are in your career? Like, is this the start of the third quarter? Is this mile 22 of a marathon? I mean, what's the right sports metaphor for where you are in this journey?
I don't know. I said a few years ago that Phil and Tiger were on the back nines of their career, and I got a lot of shit for it. So I don't know if I want to. I would say, you know, I've been a pro. I turned pro in 2007, so was this my 17th year? another 17, I'll be 51. Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty close to the turn at this point, if not a little bit after. Maybe on the 10th green or 11th tee.
Do you think you can sustain the same hunger for the next 17 years?
No. For the next 17, no. I'd say for the next 10, absolutely. But 17 seems like a stretch.
That's kind of the goal, 10 more good years?
Yeah.
All right,
Or a
Karen.
green jacket and just walk away.
Karen.
That works too.
Karen will go next. Alan, you can give it to Tim.
Rory, I have a two-part trophy question for you. You've collected more trophies as a pro alone than like we have books. So how do you display them? Are you like Tiger, only the major trophies?
That would look a little sad. Just having 4 up there. His 15 look a little better.
Do you do it by the art, how artistic they are? Do you display all of them? Do you need more than one room? How does it work?
I've got a big wall in our sort of entertainment room that has most of the trophies in there. A couple of them, I think, are sitting in Hollywood Golf Club, which is sort of a nice thing as well, where it all started. But yeah, I sort of try to group them together a little bit. You've got some sterling silver ones, you've got some gold ones, you've got a couple of Wedgwood ones from the WGCs back in the day. You've got some sort of crystal ones. Yeah, you've got a bit of everything, and honestly, it's a bit of a mishmash. It's a bit of a random collection.
Rory, kind of a two-parter about Augusta. I can't say it's next month yet because it's not next month until Friday.
Not
But
quite.
at what point does it start occupying the majority of your headspace when you get to this time of year? And secondly, did you have any reaction to the asterisk comment about that?
So I think for me, I'm going to try to get through this Florida swing here this week, Bay Hill and the Players, and just really focus on those 3 events and try to play well. And then I've got 2 weeks off after the Players, and I think that's when I'll start to turn my attention to, practicing and maybe trying to hit some shots that I might need for that week. And then I'll probably go up to Augusta on the way to San Antonio, play for a couple of days, and yeah. So I think try to do a good job of not thinking about it for these next 3, and then after that it'll be all systems go.
All right.
Oh, and the asterisk. Look, the Masters is an invitational, and they'll invite whoever they think, warrants an invite. And I mean, I think, to be fair to Talor, I think if you read the entire, the question and then the answer, it's not as if he just came out with that. I feel like whoever did the interview sort of led him down that path to say that. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt there a little bit. He basically just agreed with what the interviewer asked. But at the same time, Joaquin Niemann got an invite, and I played with Joaquin in Dubai a few weeks ago, and he went down to Australia and won. He was in Oman last week. He's been chasing his tail around the world to try to get this, either play his way into Augusta or show enough form to warrant an invite. And I don't know if the same can be said for Talor.